Hey there, hi there, ho there, and hello! My name is Michael, and welcome back to Mike's Hard Reviews and Mike's Book and Booze Club. Today we're continuing our look at the Ultimate 90s Cocktail Playlist Recipe Book by Reader and Barajas, and today we're moving on from our previous entry with Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You with Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence. Now, funnily enough, in reading this portion of the book, I actually realized I thought I did not know what Depeche Mode and the song Enjoy the Silence was. You definitely know what this song is, you probably just don't know that it's called that. Depeche Mode was technically started in the 1980s after David Gahan joined the band, which was previously known as Compositions of Sound, and then technically started in 1977, well before that, with a whole different name. Depeche Mode, though, would become the famous band, and is actually one of VH1's 100 greatest artists of all time. Admittedly, they're 98, but having heard their music, maybe they could be a little higher. Enjoy the Silence was released on their, I think, third major studio album in 1990 called Violator, which went triple platinum after release and has honestly been one of the most important portions of their discography. That being said, it's a really fascinating song that is primarily about enjoying the moment and not losing what you have as a result of worrying about claiming it, because you've already got it. Why speak into existence something someone could challenge? It's a really great song. It's playing behind me saying this, and frankly, I am ready to stop talking and start making a drink. So let's make and enjoy the silence by Depeche Mode. Let's talk about ingredients. To make this cocktail, you will need a London dry gin, an orange liqueur, simple syrup, lemon juice, and red wine, with cherries and gold dust for garnish. The book does not make mention of what specific kind of red wine you would like to use here, so I went for a Merlot because it is a more gentle red wine, and I don't think that it will step on the botanicals of the gin too badly, while still maintaining a dark, currant, cherry-forward flavor that will match our garnish and the character of our drink. Quick note for the authors, that's a good thing to mention, what kind of red wine you're using. Don't do sweet reds. That's not real red wine, guys. Please. Another forward note, they don't say this. Chill your red wine before you use it in cocktails for floats, otherwise you're going to rapidly decrease the temperature of your cocktail. That's a fresh out of the fridge bottle, so keep that in mind. Now, before we actually make the cocktail, we need to prepare a small garnish for the drink. And that's gonna rely on our cherries and our gold dust. I'm gonna grab an extra plate here and put that down. Over that plate, I'm gonna go ahead and spear a couple of Amarena style cherries. So I've got those on my cocktail pick like that. I'm gonna lay those in the center of the plate there. With our cherries carefully placed on that cocktail pick, I'm gonna open this bottle of glitter herpes and coat the cherries in the glitter. Release the excess in a controlled fashion over the plate. There is glitter all over all of my shit right now. Oh God. Put that back on the plate and set that aside until we're ready to garnish the cocktail. And then lock this in a Ziploc bag in a safe where no one can find it, because I don't know if it's showing up on the camera or not, but there is glitter all up in everybody's business, all over this bar. This shit is a cancer. And now with that out of the way, we can grab a cocktail shaker and get mixing. Into our shaker, we will place half an ounce of simple syrup, half an ounce of our orange liqueur, half an ounce of fresh lemon juice, and 2 ounces of our London dry gin. The authors also make mention of the optional addition of a couple dashes of aromatic bitters, 1 to 2 dashes, which I'm gonna go ahead and do because we've got the red wine float here, otherwise I wouldn't bother. 2 dashes of Angostura. And now we can add some ice and shake. We will cap that up, tap that down, and give that a shake for 10 to 15 seconds to chill and combine. For serving, we're gonna grab a chilled rocks glass out of our freezer here. We're gonna fill this up with some smaller ice. With our glass iced down, we'll uncap our shaker and double strain our cocktail in. Be sure to leave a little bit of room on top so that we have space for our red wine float. To do this float, we're gonna take our chilled red wine and take about an ounce of it and just pour that into our measure. We'll then take a bar spoon. We're gonna lay that down on the top of our fluid in the glass and just slowly pour this in so that it layers on top of our cocktail. The phenomenal. Spilled red wine all over my bar mat. Don't get me wrong, this is way harder to do from a bar measure, but they specify 1 ounce, so I went for that. Ooh. To finish that off, we'll grab our glittered cherries, throw those on top of our ice. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an enjoy the silence. Slancha. Or I guess because the group is named after the French word for dispatch, I suppose I should say salut. Salut, mes amis. All right, now let's go ahead and give that a taste. Cheers. Huh. That is fascinating. So I think that a red wine float works really, really well, in particular with cocktails that feature aged spirits, and especially whiskey, because it is so loud and bold and kind of hot, and it pulls away from the intensity of a red wine. Gin is a lot more gentle than a whiskey is. And I think that as a result, this cocktail is sort of falling flat for me in the angle of the base spirit and the float working together very well. If anything, I feel like this cocktail could use a splash of like a brut, a cava, a sparkling wine, something a bit more acidic and lively, and changes the texture of the cocktail by making it carbonated rather than adding this kind of really dark, rich, fruity note to the cocktail that doesn't really feel like it belongs. It's a good wine, but it doesn't match here. And I honestly don't know if a red wine would fit here to begin with. It looks amazing, I'll give you that. But I don't think that those flavors work that well together. Let me try it again with a bit more knowledge of what the wine tastes like on its own. Okay, so when you get more of the gin, it is actually a bit more balanced. There's this nice kind of like wine, like martini-like aspect to it that you can taste in the flavor composition. And it does not work, but I think you have to like wine for any cocktail that has a wine float, but this one in particular, because it's divisively placing the rich, dark, almost kind of warming angle that red wine has against gin, which was bright and like very, frankly, kind of difficult to approach for a lot of people. When you take gin and red wine, two things that a lot of people like but are very divisive flavors, you end up with a cocktail that doesn't really do either a proper service. So yeah, enjoy the silence. Maybe not the best cocktail in the menu, but these cherries are bitchin'. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, click the like button down below. And if you want to catch the next video in the series of cocktails from the Ultimate 90s Cocktail Playlist, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. We're going to go through this book, page 1 to page however many, and rate every single cocktail based on how effective we think it is, and talk about the artists contained in here, because music is important and we need to value it. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys with the next entry in the book in the next video. Slancha, have a great night.